Hi, my name's Nevaeh. I have a channeled message tonight from Source, from Spirit. And I don't have cards with this one, but I'm getting that you bring people back to Source. You have the gift of reminding people of unconditional love. And especially people going through a significant amount of pain, or even those nearing the end of their life, whether it be people or animals and other beings. I get that you are profoundly deep and prophetic. Your energy is very strong. You're a mystery. You're complex and multi-layered. And often when people have interacted with you, you do make them feel comfortable. But at the same time, many people are a little scared about you and what you know. You're uniquely contradictory. And I think when you were younger, you were often, it was expressed even by your own mother and family that you were difficult. You didn't listen. But you alchemize darkness, is what you do. And you sit with the darkness. And you have the same capacity to sit in the darkness that you do to sit in your light. And people who judge you often can't sit in their own darkness and even have difficulty sitting in their own light. They either lack or they block authentic metacognition. And metacognition is your ability to think about the way you think yourself and reflect upon that. And I hear as above, so below, and that you're perfectly imperfect. There's a reason that you're this way. You are able to walk the bridge between the darkness and the light, the bridge between the human world and the afterlife. And you can alchemize that deepness and have understanding and empathy for others that most couldn't even imagine. Most block or cut off or react harshly or deflect or leave completely the feelings or the situation that has reminded them or have brought them into that painful, difficult situation. And it's just too difficult for them to sit in it, see it, accept it, and to transmute that pain. So bridge walkers are very, very unique and very rare. You assist other souls, especially those passing, I think, to off the earthly plane into the afterlife. So I understand this is since you were a child. I think that you have experienced at least, I'm getting the number four, at least four people passing from the earthly realm into death, up close and personal. Most people probably wouldn't experience that except for maybe one or two times, and that would be much later in their life, maybe with their parents. And there's some people that are hospice nurses or medical professionals that deal with people in the dying profession. So outside of that exception, most aren't comfortable with the idea, right? The idea that life ends. And most can't face their mortality. I get that you're fairly open when you talk about death, and through your life, people have been very uncomfortable with it and don't even want to have the conversation. I mean, even, with couples trying to make a will, that some people just avoid it, don't want to talk about it. Most are not comfortable with that idea. You have direct contact with that process somehow. You will go places or be called to go places, or people will pop up in your life and around you when they're losing someone or maybe losing a pet. And it could be friends, family, a random stranger. You know, you sit down on a bench, you start engaging in a conversation, you're in a lineup at the grocery store for ice cream, and you're shopping, and people will drum up a conversation with you and start expressing what's happening. And I see that you kind of go about your day and that happens to you. Um, I feel like when you're with people and this is occurring, the dynamics or the light around that person and around you changes significantly. Bright white light signifying that you're connecting with the signs and symbols of what's going on for that person's soul. You sense them and watch peacefully or interact peacefully. And often the physical body, maybe of an animal that's passing, won't be finished the process of passing on, but the soul's already preparing. It could be days, hours, weeks, and you kind of assist in the process by softening the edges for that being. You help them prepare for their way out, I guess, is the way to say it. I get that you don't fully take credit for having this effect on people and your participation in that process with others, and that you can sense that deep energy around these beings. You kind of talk yourself out of it through logic that it's not a gift. But these people have found you for a reason. And moment you believe this truth, sometimes you believe in that truth about yourself, you still minimize and talk yourself out of it. But you are called to those beings and you bring a sense of safety to them and lightness, that it'll be okay. You bring them back to the unconditional love and to their divine self and back to source. And you help melt and soften the pain in their life. You really hold space for people's pain. And it's a divine gift to others, and it's a blessing. And I just want to say thank you and be blessed. If this resonates with you and you feel called for a reading, click the link in the bio.